Okay, hello everyone. Hello. How is everyone doing this Saturday afternoon? Okay, so we are currently now live on Facebook. So hi everyone on this meeting, and hi everyone who is currently on watching us on Facebook. Okay, so good afternoon everyone. And right now, we have a speaker who will discuss with us all about responsible feeding of the strays. So, yeah, so hello, welcome to Pantry Mission's another hashtag PPM Talk, a webinar series on animal welfare and care. So today's topics will tackle on responsible feeding of strays. And before anything else, I would like to introduce myself. So hi, so my name is Karen, and I am a co-founder of Pantry Mission, and I will be your host for this afternoon. And joining me this afternoon from PPM also is Cha, who is currently in Iloilo. So before anything else, just in case you joined and you still don't know who PPM is. So PPM is a Cebu-based animal welfare organization, and we are focusing more on being able to help our other animal welfare organizations here in Cebu and in Iloilo through our community Pantry Drive, mainly through our community Pantry Drive, and by promoting spay and neuter, not just for our pets, but for our community strays as well. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. I hope you're all doing great. And yes, so I will not drag this on and talk more about myself and more about PPM, but I will now start turning over the table to Miss Carmine Collera. But before anything else, I will just give you a brief background about her. So she is an IT professional by day and a cat slave most of the time. Well, aren't all cat owners cat slaves, right? So she has 36 puspins and 12 aspins in her family home. And she has had dogs ever since she could remember and didn't have any idea about taking care of cats until September 13, 2014, when she adopted Gucci from CARA Welfare Philippines. And she only wanted 2 cats. The others chose her. So she became an individual rescuer of kittens, pregnant and sick cats, and she has been a volunteer for Cats of Manila Adoption since 2018. In 2019, she founded Cats of Legazpi Village with her neighbors in Legazpi Village, and she feeds on 3 streets every night, rain or shine, and she is a TNVR coordinator in their area. So apart from cat welfare, she is also a corporate volunteer for diversity and inclusion, focusing on women. So ladies and gentlemen, Miss Carmine Collera.
Thank you, Karen, and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, raise your hand or give me a thumbs up. Yay, thank you. Okay, as Karen said, I'm here to talk about responsible feeding of strays. But before that, I'd like to thank PPM for this opportunity and CARA Welfare Philippines for inviting me to talk about the strays and how to feed them properly. First, the ground rules. For those who are in this Zoom meeting, mute your microphone if you're not speaking, but I guess we've all been muted by the host earlier. Reserve your questions for Q&A because we can't monitor all the questions in the chat. Participate virtually and don't be shy, like raise your hands, give us a thumbs up, etc. And then, of course, we want to keep this a safe space for everyone. So if anyone is asking questions, let's just respect and support each other. Do we agree with the ground rules? Give us a thumbs up if you agree. Thank you so much. I couldn't see your thumbs up or raising of hands, but I still see a hand raised, so you can put that hand down now. Thank you. Okay, Our agenda would be introductions, me and you. Uh, I've been introduced already by Karen, and thank you, Karen, for that. And then I'll talk about CARA Welfare Philippines, our community cats program in Legazpi Village, which of course involves responsible feeding of strays. And then to stretch ourselves further, I would like to challenge you with some key takeaways out of this Zoom session. So first off, CARA Welfare Philippines. CARA means compassion and responsibility for animals. It has been founded in 2020 and it's led by Miss Nancy Kuanheng. It's a nonprofit, it's SEC registered, and they're not a rescue group and they're not a shelter. What they do is they operate a low cost clinic for TNVR or CNBR. So of course, the vision is to promote an animal compassionate country for dogs and cats, where dogs and cats are treated with kindness and compassion. So compassion is more than empathy. No, we empathize and at the same time, we do something about it. So these are the missions of CARA Welfare Philippines. I won't read through it because there's a lot. And then, of course, there's the Animal Welfare Act, which has been a topic already for PPM, and the amendments to the Animal Welfare Act. So in short, there's punishment for people who are cruel or who maltreat and neglect animals, and imprisonments as well. So among the CARA programs would be the CNVR or catch, neuter, vaccinate, and return. Previously, it was called TNVR, which is trap, neuter, vaccinate, and return. And what I heard is that CNVR is more humane. But then for some cats, it's really difficult to just catch them with your hand. So traps are still employed, especially for the ferals. There's also humane education because what we want is a community that is aware. So even if people, not all of us are involved, at least we are aware that we should not be maltreating all the stray animals out there. And if we can, we could also do something about it. CARA also handles adoption. They're not a shelter, but then there are some cats and dogs that have been rescued and are kept in their premises. At the same time, they have another program which is called the Save the Laguna Pit Bulls. So all the dogs there were rescued from a Korean ring that do that used to do dog fights. So are you familiar with tipping or notching of cats? Raise your hand if you are. Yes. Okay. So this is a universal symbol for cats that have been sterilized or neutered or spayed. In Tagalog, we call it kapon. How do you call it in Cebu, Karen?
We still call it kapon, but mainly kapon is used for the males, and then for the females, we use the term laigit.
Ah, like it. Okay. So it's English. There's no Visayan term for it.
So far, I'm not the best person to ask about this because I'm also not Bisaya, but the common term we have been using here is kapon and laigit. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, Karen. So there are other clinics that do the tattooing, but for certain cats with with dark hair or are tortoiseshell or tabby, it's really difficult to see the tattoos from afar. So for those cats that are outside, it's really important to do the notching or the tipping of the ear. And there are certain cats that have been to kapon clinics because they don't have a notch, and during the surgery, it was found out that they're already kapon. So this could be escapees from houses, or, you know, a cat wherein the volunteer has do the failed to ask the clinic to do the tipping or the notching. So it's very important to have that symbol. Okay, our partnership with CARA is more on the CNBR or TNVR program. And now I move on to the Community Cats program of Legazpi Village. We call it It Takes a Village because it's the more familiar phrase universally. So what we're seeing is the artwork from one of the parks here, the CC Park. So there's a mural full of cats. So if you find yourself in Legazpi Village in Makati, look for that mural, take your photo with it, and tag us. Our handle is Cats of Legazpi Village. Okay, so in our community, we want to influence public policy. We're also not rescuers. Well, we do rescues individually for cats that come our way, but we don't rescue for other people. What we want is to seek acceptance for our community cats, and we do it through TNVR or CNVR, monitoring of health status of the cats that we're feeding. We engage stakeholders. There are a lot of buildings here because we're in the business district. So what we do is we engage with property managers regarding the cats that are living in their building or in their gardens. We also do responsible feeding. And the reason for that is that if the cats are hungry, they will find other ways to get food. And usually they will go to the bins or go on top of the buildings, go to the ceilings and disturb meetings. So this is one of the problems that we could address through CNVR and responsible feeding. We also do adopt out cats and prioritize the kittens, the senior cats, and the friendly cats. The friendly cats because they are more prone to abuse for people who don't like cats. So hopefully, after a few years, we would have kapon everyone in Legazpi Village. So this is a Jong of Gara. He caught cats for us and then brought them to the clinic for kapon. And the photo below it is Jong returning one of the cats. So the man to your right would be one of the construction workers who has found shelter in one construction site during the lockdown last year. The lockdown was hard, and this cat who we call Ellie has been the companion of the man. So the man is now back in Bicol. He would have wanted to bring Ellie with him, but circumstances didn't allow him because once the lockdown opened, he immediately had to return to his family. So Ellie is now adopted and she's now living in a townhouse in Baguio. She's living a very good life. So that's a good story to tell. We also monitor the health status of the cats that we feed. So there's some construction sites that remove cats out of their vicinity. So what they do is they put wires on the cats, and to your left, you will see pictures of cats with wires. With the help of Kara and Jong, we were able to have the wires off those cats and then have them submitted for spay and neuter as well. The photos were contributed by one of our volunteers, Agnes. And the second photo is about her driving a community cat named Stevie to the vet for his neuter surgery. And then to your right would be a cat who is sick. He is hiding on top of one of the parked vehicles. And this is one of the common problems that we usually hear, wherein people who have cars would, complain about cats that are going to on top of their cars, scratching their cars. That's usually not true because cats don't scratch metal. They probably would scratch the wheel of the tire, right? And that would still be fine. That would be usable. Okay. We also engage with stakeholders. So in the photo is Miss Vera Lim meeting with the Masaya deputy head, and that's me as well on the right hand side. We also designed a sign for our community, which is similar to all the signs that CARA has on the CNBR programs that they handle. But Masaya, which manages all the properties here in the business district, did not allow us to put up the sign. Anyway, it's here and we posted it on our page. We also do cat adoptions. So the cat in the photo or the kitten in the photo is Tuta. She used to live in the Sisi Park. It's a beautiful park, but there are a lot of dogs. But Tuta is very brave and she's not afraid of the dogs. So if you could see from her stance on the lower left hand side, the dog was afraid of her. Eventually, Tuta got adopted, and that's her adoption photo. This was during the ECQ last year. We also held events like adoption booth. This was with the cat communities of Metro Manila. Yes, we have cat communities. We're united in front when it comes to cat issues around Metro Manila. And then just a couple of months ago, we had our first online event. We called it the Cat's Meow in order to raise funds for CNVR. It was successful. We were able to raise 40,000 for the cats, and they were all used for vet expenses. So we also engaged the community through art. So these are all donated artwork to the to the Colby page. We also raise funds like you, Karen. We sell merchandise, most of it cat related. We use the funds for feeding as well as vet expenses, mostly for vet expenses. So we now move on to responsible feeding. Do you want me to continue or take a break? Continue.
Continue.
Continue. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. So these are donations from Meow Mix. They are wet food. The photos were from last year during the hard lockdown. And we're thankful to all the brands that have donated at that time. So we now move on to responsible feeding. First, for a feeder is to identify and maintain feeding stations. So if the building allows it or if the community allows it, you must designate specific feeding stations because cats like routine. So once they're used to eating in a certain area, they will always go there. So the recommended feeding time for friendly cats, it's about 5 to 7 a.m. and 5 to 7 p.m. This I have observed from my cats. They wake me up at 5 o'clock to feed them. And then for the not so friendly cats, they're usually out much later at night when the city is quiet and no one's around. So what I do is I also feed late at night because I'm a night person. That's why I'm able to encounter the ferals. And it's really important because once the cats are used to the routine, it's important to commit to your feeding schedule. And you do it rain or shine. Why? Because they will be waiting. So if I'm not feeling well and knowing that we have COVID and all that, and thankfully I haven't contracted it. If I'm not feeling well, what I do is I go out, at a time when I don't expect people outside. So I live in a building, so I don't want to share the space or the elevator space with other people if I'm not feeling well. And then choose a safe and tidy spot and lead the cats there. So you must observe the environment. Are there rats in the area? Rats could, cause leptospirosis. Are there cockroaches? You must consider that because other people might blame the cats for the rats, for the cockroaches, for the ants. So it's very important to leave nothing but footsteps. So this is the mountaineer's code, leave nothing but footsteps. But if the area is friendly, you can actually leave food for the ferals and the friendly cats, the nursing mothers and the kittens. The nursing mothers and the kittens need to eat round the clock. So if the area allows, try to leave food for them also. And then if you have to leave food, be sure to camouflage them. So what can you do? Hide them under the bushes or use transparent containers, and don't use colorful cat food. You can use the brown ones. Or what you can do if you're used to your routine already is wait for the cats to finish eating, and or you can do the feeding rounds and then do another sweep to remove all the containers later on. So this is my feeding station. It doesn't look tidy because the area is really not tidy, but I'm allowed to feed there by the building admin. So thank you so much to Ian of the BGP building for allowing us this feeding station. And what's good about it is that once the cats are used to eating in that area, they won't be defecating there. So the area has cat food, but it doesn't smell. Part of maintaining your feeding station is not calling attention to what you're doing when you're feeding the cats. So the ideal location is away from the public's eye. So whether it's a friend or a foe, we don't call attention to what we're doing. So the cat lovers, sometimes they don't know what to do with a kitten or sick cat that they encounter. And if they know that there's a feeder, what do? They leave the sick cat in your feeding area. So it's really not advisable to do that because the other cats that are living in that space will be agitated, and at the same time you might transfer diseases among the cats that are there already. And then of course the cat haters will complain so that you would stop feeding in that area. So keep it low, keep it keep it low key. And then take note of areas where signs are up not to feed the cats. And then ask yourself, why are there signs? Maybe there's a community that feeds the cats. So if there's a community, the best thing to do is not to feed, or maybe if you want to give some treats, that's okay as well. Uh, don't give dry food. Maybe you could treat them to wet food. But the best thing to do is to coordinate with that community if you want to volunteer as a feeder, or maybe donate cat food to them. If you're a feeder, note down your backup feeder details and schedule. So sometimes things happen and you're not available, then you can, of course, ask your backup feeder to do the feeding. Ask yourself also if you're duplicating efforts of other people who are feeding the cats. But then there are certain areas where you're sure that there's no feeder. So if the cats look hungry, feed them. There are cats that meow nonstop, even if they're full. So this we can guarantee. We have a cat who has 5 feeders, and the feeders didn't know that they're feeding this cat. So the cat is so fat, and eventually the feeders got to know each other. and they realize that this cat is being overfed. So what he wants is attention, and the humans are giving him food. So now that they know, they won't be feeding him at the same time. Sometimes they really look hungry, no? And they are really noisy. So ask yourself if there's a community cat program. Most likely that if the cat is fat, you don't have to feed it. So how should you post about your activity on social media? There's nothing wrong about talking about your achievements and success. So if you're feeding cats, that's fine. You can post it on social media. Maybe you can inspire others to feed as well, or to do something about the community strays. It's one thing to complain. Yeah, it's actually better to do something about it. But for the safety of the cats, what we advise is not to put the exact location of the cats, because you don't know who will go there. Okay. Okay. So part of feeding is also being conscious of the traffic. You need to consider, is this a one-way street? Am I feeding along a busy lane street? So what we want to do is for the cats not to cross streets just to get to the food. And then sometimes there are cats who recognize their feeder. So they do it by using their sense of smell. And so, I don't know, maybe they can recognize us by our footsteps as well. Because sometimes he's not looking in that direction, but then he knows that the cat feeder is around. So it's the sense of smell, or the sense of hearing that's working. You must consider how the cats behave when they see you. Will they attempt to cross the street to get to you? And you must also consider what they do when you're about to leave. Because some cat are, if you're familiar with hatid sundo, no, some cats do that. They fetch you, and then at the same time, once you're leaving, they would like to walk with you. They're acting like humans. So this is what keeps me from leaving a certain space. I don't leave if the cats are following. I try to calm them down, and then once they're happy, I leave, because I don't want them crossing streets and meeting accidents. Now, what to feed them? You must choose species appropriate food. Of course, we're feeding cats, but sometimes there are dogs. So what we do is, if there's nothing to give to them, we give them cat food, although it has more protein compared to dog food. So if you have dog food, give dog food instead. And then we advise cat feeders to refrain from using only one brand, because what happens is that if that brand becomes unavailable, because the cats are already used to it, they don't want to eat the other cat food. So we also want to be conscious of brands that cause diseases like UTI, kidney diseases. You will recognize these brands once you join cat care communities. So I'm in Cat Care Philippines. It's a secret group, but if you know a certain person on Facebook, they could invite you to that group on Facebook, and they're quite mature as to regarding cat care. So it's also recommended to mix brands, and if you can, mix kitten and cat food, because sometimes you don't know if there will be a kitten during your feeding rounds, and sometimes the cats want the kitten food. So what I do is mix both kitten and cat food. I have three brands that I mix, and then if there are donors, then I just add it to my mix as well. I don't give a pure brand. So I do this because of the nutrient contents. And then I also consider the demographics of the cats. Some are seniors, some are kittens, some are nursing. So as I said earlier, the lactating mama cats and the kittens would need food round the clock. So consider putting a gravity feeder for them. Of course, certain cats have preferences also. So what I do is mix the food, but then some are really smart, they could select the food that they want among the mix. And then how much to feed? Just follow the package directions on how much to give per serving. I only feed once a day, so what I do is give food that is good for one day. So this is not recommended. This brand of cat food is not recommended, and at the same time, in this feeding station, someone bought a new plant, and the plant came with a frog. So the frog used the water bowl as a pool. So that's not good because they could be toxic to cats. And then along with cat food, remember to bring water. All living things need water. So what you're seeing are water containers, makeshift water containers. We just cut off the bottom portion of the mineral water bottle. So allot 110 ml water per cat, and as much as possible, use reusable containers or unused bowls in your home. Have you heard of whisker fatigue?
Yes.
Okay. For those who haven't, whisker fatigue means overstimulation of the sensory system of the whiskers. So if you give them a narrow bowl, this usually happens. And then the cats get agitated. Sometimes they don't want to eat inside the bowl. They paw it, they paw the food, put it outside, eat there. So that's whisker fatigue for you. So what happens to cats when they suffer from whisper fatigue? Sorry, not whisper, but whisker. They refuse to eat. They pace in front of the food bowls and meow like something's wrong. They paw at the food and water to try to pull it out from the bowl. And then sometimes they could be aggressive around the food or treats because they want to get it out of the dish. So what do we do about it? So what I do is I have this a mineral bottle container. So what I do is cut the bottom portion. I cut it in three. But the one lower one third I use for water. The top one third I also use for water. And then the middle portion I cut vertically to make flat cat food containers. So it will look like this. And what's good about this is that it's transparent and it won't be noticeable. No, the cat haters won't notice it. And another feeder in our area use leaves. So just be careful when using leaves. Make sure it's not toxic for the cats. So what else is in my cat feeding bag? I have lysine tablets, which I dissolve on water. I also bring cotton pads, betadine, Neovax, which is shown in the picture, and VCO for those cats with skin issues. We have a cat who a feeder thought was being maltreated, but it's really due to immune system response. So the cat has wounds all over and then it just dries naturally. But sometimes if you want to treat it because it doesn't look good, we apply Neovax on the wound. Mupirocin for cat scratches that I get from time to time. And then of course a mobile phone to document the cats in the area. So it's really important to know who's absent or present during the feeding rounds. So this is Mungo. He's a cat that I'm treating every night. Right now, it has improved. And what I do is I put VCO on that skin. He's FIV positive, but he really doesn't like being caged. So he was set free after 2 rounds of vaccinations and neutering. It's also important for a cat feeder to monitor the cats. So what you could do is create a spreadsheet. Where's the cat located? What's the name of the cat? It's important to name the cat so that they would recognize that name, and you can call them by that name. Sometimes they don't respond, but they know their names. And then you also take note of their unique markings. A photo is very important because if you want to report a cat that's missing, that's the one thing that can, you know, that that can be used as a reference by other feeders. Take note of the gender, the feeding status if the cat was present or absent, and the time of the day that you usually see the cat. And then if you observe health concerns, of course, the sick cats have to go to the vet. If you're vaccinating cats in your area, take note of the vaccination schedules. Of course, it's we're doing this because we want to monitor the capon status of the cats. And the goal is to capon, not just to feed, but to capon. And of course, do not move cats to your feeding area. So this is one of the cats uh, that was being fed in the materials recovery facility in Pasong Tamo, near Pasong Tamo and Pablo Ocampo. His name is Po. Eventually, Po was adopted because we saw that he isn't thriving in that space. In fact, all of the cats there are not thriving. So all the cats and kittens were rescued, they were spayed, neutered, and then adopted out. Some are still waiting for adoption. So this is Po now. If you look at your right hand side, he's healthy and he's happy in his new space. So some would question, what if I'm feeding a lot of gingers? How do I recognize them? The feeder who feeds daily will still be able to recognize his cats and differentiate them. So I'm at the end of my presentation, and I would like to leave you with these key takeaways. As much as possible, we want to adopt out all the cats or rescue all the cats, but we know that it's not possible right now because we really have a big problem on strays. So what we can do is lobby for changes to improve the Animal Welfare Act. And once the laws are there, it's easier for the cat haters to accept the cats because they don't want to break the law. Of course, adopt and don't buy, because what happens is that if you continue buying, the breeding will not stop. And we all know that these strays came from bred cats that were not spayed and neutered. If you can foster to save lives and give better lives to the strays, of course, donate your time and resources like feeding, or donate money to the feeders, or donate money to do TNVR. First, it's very important before you do TNVR and CNVR, you start with your home and you spay and neuter your pets. And then do TNVR and CNVR. Of course, if you don't want to do all this, and if you can't help them, then just don't hurt them. Allow them to exist. Because, like us, cats are sentient beings, meaning they could feel pain, they could feel happiness, and they're just like us. They're trying to live their lives. And let's let them live freely. As much as possible, don't cage the cats and let them live freely. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Carmine. I can actually relate with some of the things that you discussed because I'm also feeding and fixing some of the community strays nearby. So I can actually relate to a lot of that. And thank you so much. That was very, very informative. And I hope that Miss Carmine's talk has inspired more people to, get their own cats spayed and neutered, and also get their community cats spayed and neutered so we can ease the burden of the rescue community and the animal welfare orgs. Kasi 'di ba, marami talagang nagtatapon ng kittens. So we can avoid that through spaying and neutering our our community strays. So now we move on to the next part of this webinar, and that is the question and answer portion. So we'll have an open forum, and we will read some of the questions that we received on our FB Live. So, um, one of the first questions here is, why is TNVR not recognized or accepted in the Philippines as a standard solution for overpopulation? So why do you think that is, Miss Carmine?
So the question is coming from, I'm sorry, maybe the person is asking why the government is not funding CNBR, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
I would think apart from lack of awareness, it's something that they don't want to prioritize because the cats don't vote. The cats and dogs don't vote, right? So what can we do about it? I think that's the primary reason. What can we do about it? We must lobby. So for those of you who are good at engaging your government officials, you can write them. You can go on their Facebook pages and write there, or show them what has been done in your community if you're doing CNBR and TNBR. Personally, I can't, because of my work, I can't work with government officials or, politically exposed persons. But I think for most of the cat lovers and cat communities, they could and take advantage of that opportunity, especially now because it's election time.
Yes. Yeah. So another question here still comes from the same person, which is actually Miss Penelope Ariola, and she is the person behind Cats and Dogs Matter. So she has been holding uh, events for low cost spay and neuter for the pet owners around Cebu area. So another question that she has here is, as per some animal welfare personalities that I have asked, why is it that a TNVR cat becomes owned by the TNVR practitioner and the return part becomes abandonment instead? So it's a very lopsided interpretation of the Animal Welfare Act, in my opinion. Because I think she has encountered someone who said that if you take the cat and then you release it after getting it spayed and neutered, then it it is, if you read the law by the letter, as per that person, it will be
It's like
considered as
abandonment.
abandonment. Yes, so so
I think
yeah.
you're reading too much out of the law. The
Right.
truth is, and this is from somebody who rescues animals. The truth is, if I didn't return them off the streets, I will have more cats in my home. And I didn't keep all the cats that I rescued. I adopted them out as well. You know, I was very active in adoption booth, and still I couldn't adopt out everybody. Actually, I see it differently in a way that we must make TNVR or CNVR our first option, because what we want is really acceptance of these cats. These cats are not the responsibility of rescuers and people who only love cats. It should be a responsibility of everyone, because the way that the cat is treated or the stray dog is treated is a reflection of the community.
Yes.
So here we don't need heroes. What we need is a community that works together for the welfare of the animal. So I really see a different side, a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be first TNVR, CNVR, because we know that we can't provide homes for all of them. If we could,
Correct.
well and good, right? But what often happens is that there are people who have big hearts who take in more than what they can. And we don't want to go there as well. We don't want to end up hoarders and not being able to fund the food, right? So once they're back in their territory, they're happy because they're familiar with it. It's home to them. It's
Yes.
only people who think that they're not happy, but they're happy because they're used to it. Remember, cats thrive on routine. And where were these cats born? Where did they grow up? They grow up in the community. So taking them out is actually not fair for them as well. Imagine me going to a site and then there's a baby there. I will say, this baby is not thriving here. I'm going to take this baby and put this in another home. Is that legal? Of course it's not. Now replace that baby with a cat.
Right.
So we really push for acceptance of the cats.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I became emotional about it because
It's
I'm
okay.
really pushing for acceptance of the cats,
Yeah.
especially in communities like ours where all of those operating here are businesses and this is a
Mm.
commercial district, and they will say there's no space for a cat in this community.
Mm-mm.
And the more we talk about TNVR, and once they see the effect of TNVR on the cats,
Yes.
once we release them, they're sold to it.
Yes. I totally get it. And regarding like taking away the cat from the community, we actually have an experience where it was a stray cat that was spayed and then it was adopted out. And what happened instead is the cat ran away from the new home because she was not happy, and so
And got lost.
she she continued being a stray in the in the new area. So she didn't really like it. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
a lot of things that we need to understand, because cats are like very, yeah, are animals who follow routines. So if you take them out of the routine, it's just gonna be, yeah.
yeah. There are certain cats like the cat I saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I showed you earlier. His name is Mongo. I'm treating him for wounds. And really, the person who did the TNVR would like to keep this cat because he's FIV positive.
Mm-hmm.
But then Mungo was not thriving. Like his ears are always like that, and he's not happy. So he was returned to the community after vaccinations.
I've also had experiences with like one of the volunteers we have, Sveta. She has been managing the CBP, Cebu Business Park cats, and there was this one cat where she took, and she medicated him and all of that, but he was not thriving in like indoors. And then when she released him, he was like, okay, I'm good now. I'm fine now. Like he thrived better being outside, because keeping him indoors was was stressing him out. So he was not getting well. So yeah, that's something about like cats. But
There are also cats that overgroom when you keep them
mhm,
indoors,
yes.
especially if the space is small and they have to share the space with other cats
Mm,
inside the home. That's why it's really important for cat rescuers to know their space and to give ample space for their rescues.
yes. Okay. So thank you so much. That was a very long answer to that question. And then, so we have a question here from Karina. So, Miss Carmine, I've seen posts saying that stainless bowls are safer to use for our animal companions. So, what's your take on this? And by the way, love the idea on how you cut up the water bottle and use the portions differently. All right.
Okay, thank you, Karina, and thank you to everyone who gave the questions earlier.
Mhm.
uh, Stainless bowls, but it's expensive, no? And then if you're feeding outside, what will usually happen is that the garbage collectors will get them and sell them sell them per kilo. So I think this is for indoor cats, or I'm not sure, because in our community we're not allowed to put bowls in the on site, and it's actually easier for us to use recyclable bowls,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
even those get stolen sometimes.
All right. So we have a question here from Sveta, who is one of the volunteers we have for um, PPM, and she manages the Cebu Business Park cats. So she is asking, is to leave containers at the feeding spot, doesn't it consider as like littering? Like the
Yes, that's why it's important to do another sweep. Like after
Mhm.
your feeding rounds, you go back to your first feeding station, collect all these things. Unless there's an arrangement between you and the property manager that you could leave feeding bowls in the area. So it's
Yeah.
really it everything we can't put something in stone. It really depends on the relationships among members of the community.
Mhm.
And we have to listen also to the cat haters or people who don't like us to feed the cats.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so another question from Sveta is she's asking, so how do you do your TNVR? Is it by area?
Yes, we do
Mm-hmm.
it by area. And what I've learned from Biaya, so another partner is Biaya, is that it's actually better to focus and get all the cats in one area at once. Because if you only do it piece by piece, like three cats in location A and then three cats in location B and three from location C, what happens is that while you're waiting for your next schedule, another cat becomes pregnant or
Yeah.
gives birth. Whereas if you do it per site, you're done with one, 100% done with one, and then that becomes a model for the others to replicate. And
Yeah.
what will happen also is that if a cat gets sick during recovery, there's only one portion of your feeding sites that is impacted versus one getting panleukopenia and all these other sites with three cats that you took out got panleukopenia and brought it to their community as well. So that's also a problem, one of the problems we've encountered.
Yeah. Okay, so another question from our participant here on Zoom is Sheng is asking, hi, Miss Carmine, how about the aftercare of the newly neutered strays? Do we temporarily take them in until they recover, or is it okay to return them to their familiar areas given their fresh wounds?
Mhm. I'm not no, I'm not I'm not comfortable releasing a cat that has just gone through surgery. So what I do is and I really have a small space. No, there's a small balcony. And because I also have a cat and I don't want to mix my cat with a cat that I took from outside. What I do is I put the cat in a cage and then give it a litter box, give it water and food, and then let it stay for 7 days before I release. For some, if they really have to do TNVR again, for males, you could release after 1 day for
Yeah.
as long as you do the long acting antibiotics. And then for females, maybe 4 days. If you did spay abort, you need 5 days at least.
Yeah. We can totally relate with that because I will also put my inputs regarding this one because we keep female cats longer than the male cats because like the incision site it needs to be monitored more compared to the male cat. So usually with male cats we just release them like after 24 hours. You as long as they're not hindi na sila groggy from the anesthetics and there's no bleeding from the incision site sa balls nila. So as long as they're alert and awake, just release the male cats. With female cats, um if they're if usually kapag napapansin din namin na they are stressed na din in the
Uh-uh.
cage or something like that, we I think 4 or 5 days, and then we just release them. And then, but usually most of the time, in my experience, I was really able to keep them for 7 days until they finish their antibiotics, and we don't have the long acting antibiotics
Mm-mm.
here, so we have to
Yeah.
give it orally. So yun, we keep them for 7 days and we release them as long as there's no infection dun sa incision site. And yeah, so
And they're eating. They should be
yes,
eating at
yes,
least.
yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Tumataba sila for for the
Yeah.
1 week na kinikip sila.
That's why I wait for 7 days because you will really see the difference between a cat that has been getting regular meals.
Mhm.
At first, they're so hungry. They're in a rush to finish the food.
Yes.
But then after a while, once they're used to the routine, they're like your cat inside
Mhm.
also. No, then I release.
Yes. Okay, so I think we don't have any more questions now on our FB live and um, here on Zoom. So thank you very much, Ms. Carmine, for answering the questions that our participants have. And right now, I will turn over the table to Cha so she can discuss about the activities that Pop and Mission has currently. Go, Cha.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Once again po, good afternoon. Ayan. My name is Cha again from Pantry Mission, and I'll just present lang po yung activities namin for this year. So one of our major activities is what we call the community pantry drive, and this is actually the second one for this year. This started as a personal initiative last December 2019. And ayan, biannual po siya. We are conducting this every June and every December, every July, sorry, every July and December of the year. So the goal of this community pantry drive is to support the local animal rescuers, animal shelters, community stray feeders, and even yung mga foster parents natin in Cebu City. And now we have expanded our reach, and now we will be supporting Iloilo animal welfare advocates. So the target amount for this drive this December is 60,000 pesos with 35 over 35 beneficiaries. So if you want to support us, you can you can donate in monetary donation or in kind donation. So, ayan. Here are the things we need. So we need food supplies po for our animal shelters and animal rescuers. We also need cleaning supplies, general pet supplies like crates, cages, mattings, bowls for animal shelters. And also, para sa mga volunteers natin, we also need food, meals, and snacks. Ayan. Then, one way for us to do this, to raise the funds is, ayan, we have a raffle fundraiser. In fact, we have successfully conducted dalawang raffle fundraisers. We started this November, and we have an upcoming one, the last one for this year, ayan, to finish po the community pantry drive. So, by joining po our fundraiser, you can get the chance po to win prices. Ayan, thanks so much po dun sa mga participating local brands namin which supported us for this raffle fundraising. So, ayan, if you have small businesses and if you're watching and then you have small businesses and you want to support us, then you can top us, you can send us a message via FB and Pop Pantry Mission. To give you ways on how you can contribute or support our mission. So if you wish to join for this raffle fundraising, you just go po to popantrymission.org/donation. So just indicate that you will be joining the raffle fundraiser. So one raffle entry is equivalent to 100 pesos. Ayan, each 100 peso, you are able to help the animals, and at the same time, you can win exciting prizes from one of our local participating tribes. So, okay. Ito po yung mga participating local brands namin. So thank you so much to this businesses, small businesses and companies and brands to ayan for the benefit of Paw Pantry Mission. Okay? So what else? Ayan. So, if you are interested to join po the last raffle fundraising that we have, so you just go lang po, ayan. Ito po yung, I just reiterate lang the process. You go to pawpantrymission.org/donation, and then once you have, may process on how you can give the donation. So after you're done donating, then you just send us a copy of the transaction slip via a Facebook message. So I'm sorry, this is not updated. Ayan, it's that this November 16 is the first raffle fundraising namin. So we are yet to announce when will be the last draw. Okay? All right. So just follow lang po yung page namin for updates for the last fundraising natin. So, to give you an update for sa fundraising namin, we now have 25,545 pesos contributions for the community pantry drive for the animal shelters and rescuers. So again, special thank you sa lahat ng donors and local participating brands in our activity. And lastly, other ways for you to help us. So you can donate po again in-kind donations of if you want to donate na the things that I've mentioned earlier, dog food, cat food, or any supplies, you just send us a message for details. Tapos, as mentioned, if you have business, you can be our event sponsor or donation drive partner. So you just send us an email, popantrymission@gmail.com. Or you can sign up po as a volunteer for PPM. Ano ba yung volunteering opportunities that we have? You can volunteer for transportation or foster parent, or if you have other skills that you want to share, so just send us a PM. All right. And lastly, ayan, like, comment, and share our post, like our social media platforms, and share our post for wider reach. So thank you again po sa lahat ng nag-attend this session. And thank you also to our guest speaker, Miss Carmine, and also to sa colleague niya po, si Miss Army, for accepting our invitation for this third um, session of our series Animal Welfare. So thank you so much to those who attended, and keep safe po lahat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cha, and thank you everyone, and keep safe everyone. And this is where we will end our webinar. Thank you so much, Miss Carmine and Miss Army, for sharing everything that you know about TNVR and CNBR. And I hope everyone learned a lot from this session, and hopefully we get to see you guys again on our next session. So this is where we say goodbye, and bye everyone. See you soon.